Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's installment of Business Computing Weekly. This is episode number 350, recorded March 4th, 2012. We're brought to you by Frugal Brothers Software and also GFI Software. Well, today is kind of a special show, and we're talking about Windows 8. The good, the bad, and, well, the ugly. I actually need the theme song from that. More to come when we come back with this week's episode of Business Computing Weekly. Don't go away. And here we are on a Sunday afternoon, and thanks everybody for coming by and watching us during the recording of the show. It's always a lot of fun to have people in the live chat room when we're doing this. We're here every Sunday recording at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I remind everybody, later this month we're going to have a time change. Indiana, we change our time twice a year, in the spring and in the fall. I call it dumbass time because it is. We should really be in the central time zone. If you look at the continental United States, we're nowhere near the East Coast, and yet we're still on the Eastern time zone. It drives me crazy. Well, Windows 8 is out, right? And I should say the consumer preview was released, and there's a couple different ways you can get that if you haven't done so already. Go to Microsoft website and get it. You can get a web installer, and you can also get the ISO. I had actually hunt around a little bit to get the license key. I'm using it in VirtualBox and VMware Player. I don't own VMware Workstation. And for my needs, I think VirtualBox does everything I need it to do for working with virtual machines and so on. But I downloaded it, I installed it on and created a virtual machine, and because it's I don't run a lot of virtual machines at one time, I kind of gave it a little bit more horsepower. I gave it 4 gigs of memory and 4 cores of processing power, and so it's actually a pretty snappy virtual machine. But today's show is really focused on the good things about Windows 8, the bad things about Windows 8, and some stuff is just downright ugly. And I've not seen an OS release in memory that is bringing about so much controversy as Windows 8. Well, let's start talking right off the bat about some of the good things that we're going to see from Windows 8, especially if you're a consumer. And the first thing is going to be, and I believe this, I believe it's going to be a welcome addition to the tablet world. I think that it is really going to make for a pretty slick tablet. Real honest-to-goodness competition for the iPad. And I predict that by the Christmas time, you'll be able to go to Best Buy and other places and see lots of tablets, and they're going to be beautiful, and they're going to be slick, and I think it could give possibly iPad a run for its money. I believe that. I think that's going to happen. And we know there's going to be 2 very different types of tablets. One being an Intel-based tablet, and one being an ARM-based tablet. And then I think most consumers will buy the ARM-based tablets. 1, they're going to be cheaper. 2, probably have better battery life. And I see that as a real possibility. I think the higher end tablets will offer an Intel processor, but they're going to be beautiful. They'll come in different colors, and because manufacturers will have to differentiate the different types of tablets that they have out there. Now, if you get the ARM-based tablet, as I understand it, you will get with it Metro copy of Office, or a desktop version of Office 15 for ARM. Something like that. So if you get the consumer model, you'll get Office. And you won't get everything like OneNote and all that, I don't think. I have to look and see what you get with that. But you get a version of Office for ARM with it, which is kind of cool. Number 2, it boots faster than Windows 7, and it does it by really eliminating some of the services that launch when you start Windows 7. So boot time has been really, really improved in Windows 8. Another thing is that Metro applications, you don't really have to worry about closing out Metro apps. Okay? It works more like with Windows RT and Metro, it works like an app went on a smartphone. They suspend. They go into suspend mode, so you don't really have to worry about managing those apps. Number 4. Now, this could be good, this could be bad, this is up to you, but Microsoft is moving people away from the desktop metaphor. Is it time to quit the desktop metaphor? Is it time that we... And, people don't like change. They're happy the way things are, but, companies have to keep, innovating. Maybe it is time that we look for a new way of getting things done. With Metro, it's more about a task, or I would say, to me, my opinion, you may have a different opinion, but it's more task-centric, more information about tasks and more application rather than managing files and folders on the desktop. Again, my opinion. Could be good, could be bad. Number 5, it is way more secure operating system than Windows 7. For just one example of secure boot, we're actually going to go into some of the things about security on here. What about picture password? Whether you use a gesture, a picture, it is what the name says it is. You basically use a picture, you swipe it different ways, it remembers it as your password. When I'm reading very, very, even on a clean slate, you got a tablet, clean screen, and when you use a touch device, how you get smudging on that screen. Almost impossible for someone to figure out what ways you gestured and try to replicate that to get into your system. So that could be cool. Number 7, address space layout randomization, or ASLR. That's a mouthful, isn't it? But essentially, it shuffles the software code and the data that's in the memory, and it blocks the assumptions that the code and the data are always in the same memory address locations. And so that improves things like integrity checks, especially makes it easier to harden Windows 8 and make it more difficult for software exploits to work properly. Again, this is an improved security feature. And if you haven't, finally, number 8, and there's probably more, is that actually Internet Explorer 10 is pretty doggone good. It's actually quite fast. It's really, really fast. And and I'm using it on virtualized machine. I can't imagine how well it would run on this beast. So those are 8 things that I think are good about Windows 8 for the consumer. How about for businesses? If you're in the business world, what's good about that? What's good about Windows 8? Let's talk a little bit about the first thing, and I think this is a good idea. I've got some really technically savvy people in the chat room. It's called Windows to Go. Okay, so what is Windows to Go? Essentially, it creates a Windows 8 image with your business applications and configurations and settings on a bootable USB drive that somebody can take on the road into them and plug into their PC and be all set up to go, have all the group policy, have all the procedures, everything in place, ready to go for a company authorized machine. So this, in theory, sounds pretty good. I don't know about you guys in the live chat room, but I think it sounds like a pretty good idea. I think companies may like that a lot, especially IT guys, because, you know, we're in this whole bring your own BYOD thing, bring your own device. Maybe this is Microsoft's way of trying to, I don't know, keep people from using Macs, accessing work-related data using the Mac. Maybe. You tell me what the reasoning is behind Windows to Go is. It does seem to be, for these first blush, as a way to do that. Okay, we're getting a comment in the chat room. Not a good idea to you. I'm wondering what the thinking was at Microsoft for this particular feature when Windows to Go is. Okay, number 2, mobile productivity. Windows 8 is designed with mobile devices really in mind. It really is. It is touch first. Not touch centric, but touch first. And then CAM, keyboard and mouse. But there's more mobile-friendly features, again, and that goes beyond Windows to Go, like direct access, for example, that allow a business that uses a Windows 8 server to create a VPN type of connection between the user's device and work resources. So that's a really, really good idea, and it makes things, I think, more secure. There's built-in support for mobile broadband, which means you can work over a 3G and 4 connection, similar to using Wi-Fi. So that's really good. Number 3, Internet Explorer 10. I've talked about that briefly. Windows 8 includes Internet Explorer 10, and it's in 2, but there's actually 2 different Internet Explorers. Okay, let me see if I can show you what we're talking about there. Let's see, I was just looking at the finance application. Got to find it again. Well, we could probably do it. Pull up MSNBC app and see. Maybe not. They might not be able to do it in the MSNBC app. And we're getting a spinning. Wait, this might be an app that's not working. There you go. Does not work. Okay, let's find another app. Well, here we go, right on the home page. This is the Metro Internet Explorer. And I'll turn off the GFI logo here. Get that out of your way. And apparently you can't see it in here. Oh, that's a shame. The actual search bar, live bar, is down below. See, you don't have anything here at the top. It's down below. This is one, and there's no plugins. None of your plugins for Internet Explorer work with this thing. Not a one. It's a self-contained version of it. But if we drop into the desktop, here's good old Internet Explorer again. Only this one will support plugins. Yeah, there's no flash support in Metro as well. It does run quick. It does run quick. I'm pretty impressed with that. Let's go back to the... if we do this, we should see... Yeah, there we go. We'll go in the start menu. There we go. So there we are. That we're back on the start screen. Let's go back to me. There we go. And there we go. Security. Windows 8 brings new features to create against malware and viruses called the Trusted Boot process. So the bottom line, I think, for Secure Boot is it allows the anti-malware antivirus processes first, before rootkits and other stuff have a chance to load and install with the OS, thus potentially defeating those things from crippling your system. I think that's good. I think that's a real good idea. So that's good with Secure Boot. Now there's questions: will you be able to dual boot in Linux, or and so forth with Secure Boot and the new what they call it UEFI? there might be a way around it. For all as I know right now with the new UEFI, no. So unless something is changing that I'm not aware of. Secure boot. There is a new system restore feature. We've all heard of. Well, we know about Windows rot. You can do a Windows refresh. Very easily keeps all your data, your apps, your settings, all that. And it refreshes the install of Windows 8 and then helps eliminate the Windows rot problem, which is pretty cool. There is a faster and easier Windows system restore. It makes it easier to wipe your data and your applications through this system. And Microsoft revealed that although 32 and 64-bit tablets can be managed the same way the desktop and laptops can, not the ARM. Windows and ARM is actually managed through corporate IT. Is a totally different device than the other Windows device, so keep that in mind. So those are mostly good things about Windows 8 for a consumer and a business standpoint. Let's go to the live chat room right here. Gordon Keenan says if they would just drop the Metro front end and everyone would be getting excited rather than frustrated. Well, let's talk about that. As you know, when you boot this thing up, this is what you're greeted with. There is, at least there was a hack available with the developer preview edition to get you right into the desktop. Not now. You end up here. Period. Here's my big fear. I think Microsoft should just, as the setup runs, ask you if you want Metro or not. The Windows Classic interface, or Windows 7 Classic. And you boot up into that and you have the traditional start menu, but yet you get all these other functionalities, secure boot, the improved task manager, all these other improvements would be right there. That's what it should do. I hope you agree. Just real simple. Do you want the Windows 7 Classic? Do you want Metro? Yes or no? Say no, go on about your merry business. All sets up, you're in business. Hey, it's nice, it's great, it's wonderful. Windows 8, fantastic. Why did they take this choice away? Well, the theory goes that Microsoft wants to do away with this. The desktop interface. They want a whole new paradigm, a whole new way of doing things. This is Microsoft's way of saying, we want this, the Windows desktop, to go away. Let me try changing something in this shot. I think maybe I'm not including everything. Okay, let's go into Desktop Presenter, change region. Okay, there we go. My bad. Do that. Just make a fix here real quick. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and work on fixing this shot. And let's go. And nope, that just killed Desktop Presenter. Ack! Let's see if we can do this again. Go into Desktop. Oh, well, Desktop Presenter just crapped out. Okay. Let's see if we can bring it back here. Yep, my Desktop Presenter just died. Okay. There she goes. Main display. Change region. Here we go. And let's see. Hopefully this will fix it. All right, go. Okay, there we did that. Now we've got it fixed. All right, let's go back to Metro. Yeah, desktop presenter just mysteriously crapped out on me. Okay. Let's go back here to desktop. And we're still not seeing, I'm still not seeing what I want to show you. Go in here. All right. See now if we got it. There we go. Now we got it. A little bit of it. Anyhow, going back in here. But now you don't see the start. So I'm having a little bit of difficulty with Wirecast right here, desktop presenter. I'll try one more adjustment. And it's not really... It's just not scaling really good here in Wirecast for whatever reason. Really fighting this thing. Well, okay. Yeah, as it is, I'm sorry, I apologize, but Wirecast is fighting me on scaling this video. Uncle Al, how are you? Welcome to the show. We're talking about Windows 8 and some of the stuff that's going on there. Okay, I said we would talk a little bit about the bad. As I said, I believe forcing Metro on the desktop install, in my opinion, is boneheaded. Maybe you don't think that way. Maybe you think it's fine. But I don't think I'm alone, and I know I'm not alone. I mean, this does appear to be a general consensus. This appears to be the general consensus that Metro will make a great tablet experience, but not so much on desktops. I would say it runs about 2-to-1, opposed to Metro being the default interface. One saying absolutely it's wonderful, including your hardcore Windows fanboys. Number two, Microsoft is breaking a lot of user interface design rules, and in my opinion, this whole weird hybrid touch-first Metro desktop, the way it defaults to that, they're really breaking that. Again, imagine you're a typical consumer. You're not one of the more technically savvy people. You're brand new to, you just got your new PC, it comes loaded up. Show me an easy way show me, for example, how I'm going to restart the machine, reboot the machine. I'm looking through here. Now I'm using a mouse and keyboard, not a tablet. We're not talking about tablet users. Well, let's see, I'm looking around and I don't really see anything about that. I got to start moving my cursor around, my mouse. Don't see nothing. I'll go up here in the right-hand corner. What are these? Okay. Search, share, start. I click start. Whoa, I'm on no, that ain't right. Normally I hit start, right? I hit start before to shut down my machine, but now I'm on this desktop. Okay, so that don't work. Of course, now I need to get back. How do I get back? Where do I go? Let's see. Okay, I'm moving my mouse. That don't do anything. There's no start button here. What do I do? I'm lost. Right there. Fortunately, I know to hit the Windows key. Now what I have to do is I have to cursor down, go to the settings charm, click on that. Then there's the power button, and that's where I was shut down from. This is what I'm talking about. Really, this is what I think is going to cause real problems for Microsoft when this beast is released, unless they give you the opportunity to say no to passing on Metro. I think a lot of people are going to have a real hard time and panic in the very beginning. I don't know if you folks agree with me in the chat room or folks that'll watch this on YouTube or so forth. It's going to be a pain in the ass. It's going to take a long... Gordon Keenan says it's taken long enough to train the current range of Office chimps. Maybe I shouldn't have said that on the recording. But it's going to, people's going to be going nuts with this thing. But that's how it works. So that was number 2. Breaks a lot of rules of user interface device. This thing should be really intuitive. And we've got this weird hybrid mode here between the traditional desktop and Metro. Number 3, look, and this kind of goes with number 2. I wish Microsoft would get this, and Apple, and God, even Canonical with Ubuntu. Not everybody has a phone or tablet fetish, okay? Some of us have to get real work done with our machines. Just give us a PC back that will boot in the old desktop, start button and all, okay? Maybe I don't want my desktop to operate like a phone. I don't want that. If I want a machine that acts like a phone, I'll get a damn phone, okay? Just again, my opinion. I don't necessarily want it. Number 4, I think Microsoft should have made the apps. Oh, here we go. They should have made the apps better than what they did for a consumer preview. Now they say don't judge these applications right now, but of course we're going to. Most of them are lacking functionality. They're so different. Some of them don't work. They just blow up and they crash just like they do on your smartphone. It wasn't ready. These are not fully baked. No, nothing about the gremlins. There we go. I'm getting some blanking out here with Wirecast. Number 5, it's just jarring. Would you not agree, if you're used to the traditional desktop, to end up with this in the very beginning is extremely jarring? Apple gets it. Keep the desktop OS different from the mobile OS. Design the OS for its intended purpose. Tablets and phones, touch devices, PCs and laptops, these devices work differently, and we expect them to work with CAM. CAM being keyboard and mouse. Again, my opinion. Okay, and number 9, I promised you the ugly. We talked about the good, the bad, and what's the ugly. How about this? 9 versions, tentatively, of Windows 8. 9 versions, here they are. Windows 8 Enterprise Edition, Windows 8 Enterprise Eval Edition, Windows Home Basic Edition, Windows Home Premium Edition, Windows 8 ARM Edition, Windows 8 Professional Edition, Windows 8 Professional Plus Edition, Windows 8 Starter Edition, and Windows 8 Ultimate. There's 9 editions. You know what you need? You need 2. You need Home, Professional. That's it. Or Ultimate. Home and Ultimate. Gordon Keenan states in the chat room, well, Boo, our good friend Boo, says this is just ridiculous. Gordon says Microsoft has lost the plot. Can we get rid of Steve Ballmer? Uncle Al says, everyone here is a Mac person except me. Laughing out loud. I'm using a Dell. Look, I'm using a Dell right here. Check it out. This is a Dell XPS 8300. This is a Windows machine. not a Mac. Running Windows 7. Running Windows 7 brilliantly for me. It's not that Macs are expensive, guys. It's PCs are cheap. You get what you pays for, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to go there in this argument. User 5511 says, I've never used a Mac. No reason you have to use a Mac. Windows 7 is perfectly fine. Gordon says Boo changed after he got a Mac. Well, and now you're a Mac user. And I have a MacBook Pro here, and the Queen, Cindy, uses the Mac Pro for a while. But I think she's going to get a new Mac. She already told me, guys, in no uncertain terms, you will never get me go back to Windows machine. Don't try, don't ask. I love my Mac, period. Don't mess with it. And so I want to be happy, so I will not mess with her going back to Windows. Okay, Windows, here's the next. Ugly. Windows on ARM cannot be managed like Intel-based tablets by the company IT department. I think that's ugly. Of course, this again I think part of this is to stop this whole bring your own device nonsense to work. Gets everything back under the corporate umbrella. No more bringing the iPads and expecting IT to support them. We're not going to. You want us to support you a tablet? It'll be a Intel-based Windows tablet. And I believe that. I think that's what this is all about. And finally, Metro for Windows 8 Server. Really? I've seen some previews of the beta. Metro on a server? Really? 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 That's just... Who wants to boot up their server and see this? You don't. Most people would like just to see a command line, really. Min-win type thing. They don't want to see Metro on there. Those are some of the ugly things. So we've talked about the good, the bad, the ugly of Windows 8. Now let's turn to the live chat room and list of consensus in here. Tom Max says we all know servers should have no screens. No, they should. Right, they should be pretty much command line based, or you have admin utilities running on a client machine to create user groups, whatever you want to do. Any other comments in there? I think Microsoft thinks the touchscreen PCs will become popular. Uncle Al, unless there's a tremendous advances in keyboards and multi-touch input devices for the PC, it's not natural to stand here and touch the screen like this all day. It's just not. And you know what? We like multi-display setups. I do. I'm going to have a multi-touch, multiple displays. No, it's not going to happen. Let the OS install for its design purpose. Desktop, tablet. Enable Metro, disable Metro. Boom. That's all they got to do. And I think people will say, well, Windows 8 is pretty cool. Uncle Al says, I agree. I hate touchscreen. They're great on a tablet when you're down, but not straight ahead. You can't do that all day. It's not going to work, and touchscreen won't work with multiple displays. Now, perhaps we'll have a new generation of multi-touch, kind of a keyboard, magic, oversized trackpad kind of deal, maybe. But Metro is still not really a desktop productivity interface. I want multiple windows. I have to have multiple windows open on 3 screens. I need Outlook on one, and I've got Chrome going on something else. I've got TweetDeck going on something else, etc. I don't need this. That is my take of Windows 8. I'll be working with it some more, and my next thing is to download the evaluation copy of Windows Server 8 Beta. Got to give you guys my thoughts on that. But I tell you right now, if you've got SBS 2011 up and going, stick with it. For businesses, I give Windows 8 a fail at this point. Would not recommend it as an upgrade. It's not ready for prime time. We understand this is a beta, and hopefully some major changes will happen between now and this fall when the release to manufacturing comes up. I hope so. At any rate, we want to thank everybody for stopping by and checking out our program. We had a little technical glitch with the Wirecast and the screen presentation of Windows 8, but appreciate you hanging in there with us. Can't always guarantee the quality, but the quantity that I can guarantee. We're here every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do a pre-show at 12:30. We'll get this show uploaded to YouTube sometime this afternoon. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by and spending your day with us. We appreciate it. See you next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. That's an inside joke. I'll tell you what that means. See you next Sunday. Talk to you later. Bye.